So what do you got, Deb?
Okay, so on this one here, it didn't sell. It's a condo. I think it's a condo. I don't know if it's a townhouse or a condo.
What
It's in
town you in?
Somerville, Mass.
Okay.
It is. They were asking 1.425. It went down to 1.3, and it still didn't sell.
Okay.
And because when I talked with her originally, she thought it was going to sell, so she wasn't really open to it. And then when I talked with her second time, she said, well, it really hasn't sold, so I might be open to it. I emailed her, and then I left her a message, and she called me back with her husband yesterday.
Okay, let me get some background. So expired or FISBO?
It was expired. Expired in July.
July expired?
Yeah.
And how long was it on?
I think it was 3 months. I had it from 4/11 to 7/16.
Okay, good. You guys always ask, because again, a lot of times we're hitting you guys and we go, oh, if I ask that, it's important because you're gonna see how much pain there is. And then what's your motivation?
Well, they've already moved, so they're anxious
Nice.
to move it. So they don't need the money to get somewhere else, but they want to get it off their hands.
Do we know how much she owes yet?
900, around 900, somewhere around there.
Do we know the rate and the payment yet?
So it was, they gave me some ballparks. They said they have to go back and double check, and they're going to get back to me. So 900, he said he thought it was 5.38%. He said a 7-year arm, and they were 2 years into it.
Okay, left.
And he thought the payment was somewhere around 6 or 62. Including taxes, but not, they have an additional HOA.
That's right, that gets passed. And what am I missing before we go deeper?
The taxes are included when it's an HOA, when it's a condo, right? Or is that not the case? The master.
Know how that you're gonna get a statement, but you're okay not having it now. But this is good for now. Okay, go ahead. So what are the questions?
Okay, so so I have to go through and try to find what I didn't go through to try to find what the rent was yet. They were open to a lease purchase. They didn't balk at, they asked for a down payment. I explained why we usually don't do a down payment, minimal to, or very small. They didn't really balk at it. They wanted to just kind of digest the information that I told them, and they were going to get back to me with specifics. So do I just go from here and try to structure a lease purchase deal when they get back to me with the more specific numbers, run it by you guys, and then present it to them? Or should I?
I mean, my simple 10,000-foot answer is if you agree on the 1.3 and they owe 9, you're basically saying I'm going to do a lease purchase and I'm going to protect the 400 grand. It's a matter of the term, and then you getting comps, make sure you're okay. But
yes, the realtor, based it on comps. I can double check that on my end just to make sure.
Well, the realtor based on comps that didn't sell, so the realtor's not so hot.
Right.
So just I just make sure you're okay. I mean, they already came down once. Great. Let's just make sure the realtor wasn't that far off, and they're back to. How long was it at the 1.3? I'm just totally curious for when Nick goes to help you.
I have to double check that. I'm not sure about.
Just find out how long that hung out there at 1.3. I'm just curious.
Yep.
And then because they've been out at 1.425, great. It's probably good for the consumers to see. So I mean, this is pretty standard.
Okay, when I go to market it, do you usually max the how much you go up by 100,000, or do you usually do 20%?
Neither.
Oh.
There's no formula. Nick's gonna help you with that. There's no formula.
I was just gonna say, Dad, I'm not sure. This sounds like if they're 2 years into a 7-year arm, wouldn't it be a perfect 5-year lease purchase?
Yeah, 5 or less. Yep. That's why I'm okay with it. Yep.
I didn't say 5. I just 3.
Well, 3 helps them with their primary. This was clearly their primary, right?
It was, yeah. I'm not sure when they moved. But...
Did you introduce 3, or did they say, like, how did that conversation go?
I introduced 3.
Okay, we don't want to do that. unless you know it's their primary. If you know it's not their primary, then you want to try to get longer terms.
Well, if it was their primary and they just moved, the clock ticked from when they
Left.
started, from when they left. So I have to find out how long ago they moved, or I can probably, it probably will be a few
I
months.
mean,
have
Deb,
to
if it's within a month or two, you're fine, because their accountant can do whatever he wants when he or she reports it. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So you're gonna go see this? I know it's a condo, but you're gonna go see it, or you know?
Yeah, I talked about seeing it, and the goal would be to go see it next week. They had some stuff going on this week, and I was actually busy this week with the holiday. So, yeah, so they were gonna get back to me with the information. I don't know if I emailed it to her late last night. I don't know if she emailed me back. And then I put together a deal. I would show it to them, and then go to see the house. Is that the order?
I just would, yeah, but I wouldn't, when you say put a deal together, I would just email quick numbers right now and say, this is basic. Here's how it would work. Hypothetically, I got to go see it, but this is hypothetically how it works.
Yep. Okay, I just always get nervous when they're over, when the high numbers.
No,
I know they're all the same deals, but
you
I
gotta
just
block
get,
out of your brain. It's just math.
yeah,
And if it's contingent upon a buyer, what do you care?
right. And I do say contingent on a buyer. And is it good to say? I think I did say on the higher properties, we usually say 60 to 120 days to procure a buyer. Is that?
I
Probably
tell everybody the
90.
same.
You
Probably
say 5.
90 to 120, and it could be more.
I always say the low that we've ever done, Nick, 5 to 120, and the Nick's ending was what the caveat is on high end. It could be more, but it behooves us to get it done yesterday, so we'll keep you posted. But Deb, this is one of the furthest you've taken this on your own. This is a good job. You're
Mhm.
there.
Okay.
Yep.
You're there. Just don't get nervous. You're there.
And there's nothing to be nervous about, especially if it's contingent on a buyer. You're protected. You're fine. Now
Yeah.
we can play. We can play.
I understand the nerves, right? Like, well, what if the tenant buyer stops paying, and then I have to pay for it? That's what the payday one is for. You keep it, you don't touch it, and then that's what it's used for. It's all relative, right? $100,000 home, $1 million home, whatever that payday you get, you're gonna use that if something were to happen to pay for the mortgage until you pivot or do whatever you need to do. If they leave,
Right.
or something
Yeah,
happens.
be thinking 3 or 4 months mortgage. So you put 20 grand in. If you get in your pocket after splits, if you get 70 grand and you put 20 or 25 in the bank, are you okay?
And we're talking about something that might not even happen.
Right. We're putting the cart before the horse, but yeah.
You got- you
but
got
that's
50
the-
grand.
Just deal with what's in front of you, Deb.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I did say, we go to market, we'll know. I said within a week we'll get probably some feedback as far as
A little tight.
Yeah.
if we have
not
some
really.
activity.
A little
Not
tight.
really. That's okay.
Okay.
I
2
mean, you'll
weeks
know
is
if you
like-
sold it in a week, but that's feedback. It takes time for it to get out there.
Okay. Because then, I wanted to plant the seed that if we needed to adjust the, the pricing.
That's good to seed that in. I think you said enough, though. I'm guessing you said enough. Just send Rusty and I a draft of your email.
Yeah, you did a great job. Just in your communication with people, don't say we're going to get feedback, because then they expect an update like you're a realtor.
Like a realtor.
No.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll keep you posted. We don't know. The market's wonky. We'll let you know. Deb, send a draft of that email as soon as you can to me and Rusty. One of us will tweak it. It's very simple language for the sandwich lease. So just send that over.
Okay.
One of us will hit it and then blast it away.
Okay.
We'll make it
Thanks.
assumptive. Whoever one of us will just make it very assumptive. Like, here's how it would work. And next is I'm going to go to the house. You're going to send me the mortgage statements and we'll see if we can get on for right after the holiday. So, assumptive.
Okay.
Write it that way. We'll answer you back that way.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Now go get them. All right, Jeff, what do you have? Do you have something you can share screen, or you want to do live?
I got it.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. So, talked to this guy yesterday. The way I found this was just looking at rentals, and I texted the guy and said, "Hey, would you be interested in selling versus renting?" And it went to a property management app, and then I said, "Let's talk." So I got a call from the guy the next day, and I was like, "Hey, would you be interested in selling?" He goes, "Nope." And I was like, "All right, are you going to sell at some point down the road?" "Nope." And I was like, "All right." So, so I kind of shut that down. I got a call the next day, from the actual owner. So that person was a property manager. So of course he's saying, "You're not going to sell."
right.
Yeah. So, so I got talking to Neil. He called me back and said, "Hey, I got your message. What's your offer?" And I was like, "Well, we'd have to walk through that a little bit. There's a couple different ways that we could do it." And so I just had a conversation with them, and they bought it in about 2012 for 160 cash. They've been renting it out. They've got other properties. He's like, "It's an investment, so I'm always open to selling it."
Rented now?
It's on the market to be rented, but there's nobody in it right now.
Good.
It's,
Do you know
he's
how
got
much
it
he
on the
rented it
market.
for?
Sorry?
Do you know how much he rented it for in the past?
It's on for 2,700 right now. I
Yep.
don't know if that's what it was in the past. It's a great lot. It's on a waterfront canal in Cape Coral. That's a deep water, like sailboat access canal.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a great lot. He said, I talked to him about terms, and he said, "Yeah, I've done." He's in Canada, so he's done, what do they call it? Owner
Vendor holdback or
vendor
kickback.
carryback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, I'm familiar." So he's an investor. He's open to talking about it, and I said, "All right, well, let's."
So Jeff, just when they say make an offer, you just say, I typically don't make offers, so I come see the house. If you were to put it on the market, what were you hoping to get?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's-
they gotta
that's
give
how
you,
you
they
get
gotta
that
start
number.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want to see what because price isn't an issue for us, right? So you just want to say, hey, what are you hoping to get? And then try to get that number, right? When they say make an offer, it's like you have no idea what you're talking about. So
Yeah, and
just
I
for
said,
future.
Yeah, no, that's great, Rusty. Appreciate that. And I said, it really depends. Like with different sellers, we can do things differently. So, we got to figure out what's most important to you. Sometimes it's the term, sometimes it's the monthly, sometimes it's the overall price. And he goes, price.
Perfect. Okay,
So-
so that would have been a great time if you didn't say which one of those hypothetically are most important to you. Then you start to feather out.
Yeah, he did. He interrupted me and said price. So,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Okay, great. So if we got you to your price, what kind of monthly would you be looking for?
Mhm.
That's your second question.
Yeah.
When you're talking about owner financing, Jeff, we put it in quadrants: price, monthly payment, length of term, and then the elephant in the room. We don't talk about down payment, which is fourth quadrant, which is down payment. So you want to get, if I can get your price, how long, or what month are you looking for? If I can get you 1 and 2, how long are you willing to go?
Okay.
So
Do
those
you
are-
have okay, two questions. Do you have any slam dunk comps like right in that area by chance that are around him, or no?
Not really. I did find one, 544. It's about the same. No pool, I don't believe. He doesn't have a pool, but some of the others that did have a pool are renting for hire and obviously selling for hire.
When you're looking at comps, all you should be concerned about is bedroom, bath, and square footage. I mean, pool
And if
is-
they're on the pond or not, though, Nick. Not
No.
not the pool, but the pond. View, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it does have a pool, but yeah, no, good point.
You just don't want to get too in the weeds of, well, this one has a 1-car garage and this one has a 2-car garage. Like that really doesn't matter for our purposes. We just want to make sure the numbers are there. The highest numbers, not necessarily the lower ones. We just want to make sure the numbers are there. That's it.
On the
How'd you
sales
leave off,
comps,
Jeff, with him?
Nick, on the sales comps, are you saying?
Yes.
Okay.
There's one in June here, 649. Or August. 649.
Jeff, when you get off, where'd you leave with it? Like, what's he thinks happening next on his end?
Yeah, so I said, I'd like to talk to you and a couple questions to clarify. Let me do a little bit of research. Let's get on a call. I just want to clarify a few things with my partner. And so he's out at properties today, but he said he'd be available, around now. So we could call him if you wanted to, or we could, I'll call him later.
And he has multiple properties, right?
Yeah, I haven't found him yet, and they may
Okay.
be up in Canada. But yeah, he said it sounds like he's done quite a bit of investing, and he's like, we got a ton of money. We don't really need the money. He was sort of like, yeah, we'll see. He's not super motivated, I guess is my point.
He has two others, one on 54th and one on 17th.
Okay.
Well, before Rusty did that, I was gonna say, I mean, that really doesn't matter. The only thing
Right.
at this point, if you do it, if and when you do a good job with this one, he'll open the doors to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd keep that. Yeah, I keep that in mind. Jeff, I'm thinking because he's got lack of motivation that I might. This is my knee jerk. I might send an email.
Mhm.
Do you have his email?
I don't.
Okay.
But I can get it.
I'm just thinking, hey, Neil, we spoke. My partners and I happen to be getting together, like you and I did when we were live here at the boot camp. We were happen to be together today, and you had mentioned price. So then going to Rusty's thing. Hypothetically, if I got you the price, and by the way, what is that price? Give me a ballpark. If I got you the price you wanted, what's the monthly? How long could you go? So I can start formulating some ideas here. Just
Okay.
keep it vague and see how he answers, because then you'll know if he's even motivated or not to even go to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to cough up something. It's the old doctor thing. Like you go to the doctor and go, the doctor says, "What's wrong?" Guess. Like, so you got to get some clue.
Yeah. That's good. Okay.
And yes, I've said that to sellers. So feel free. Yeah, let's do that next, and then keep on a thread. Keep me, you, and Rusty and Mike going on the thread.
Okay.
Cool.